Ducey issuing a new order that requires travelers who come to Arizona from hotspots like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
The first time in more than 50 years that CDC has issued a quarantine order.
Update just in, 19 quarantine orders have been issued after a Bangladeshi work permit holder was named among 4 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus.
My fellow Ohioans, we have not faced an enemy like we are facing today in 102 years. You have to go back to the 1918 influenza epidemic. We are certainly at war. I don't know any other way to describe this but to say that we are at war. In a time of war, we have to make sacrifices.
Putting drastic measures in place to fight this pandemic. Here's what we know right now. The entire state of California ordered to stay at home. That's 40 million people.
And it's something we are likely to see across the country. Now, California's governor warning that 25 million people could become infected. And that's why this shelter-at-home directive is not a request here, it's an order.
A statewide order for people to stay at home.
All non-essential businesses in the state ordered to close. At the White House, the president touting an anti-malaria drug called chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine that could be used to fight the virus.
And it's shown very encouraging, very encouraging early results. And we're going to be able to make that drug available almost immediately.
And in Pennsylvania, the governor also ordering all non-life-sustaining businesses to close overnight. Across the country, more Americans are being tested or, like here in Texas, waiting to be tested in long lines. And with more tests, the number of confirmed cases of coronavirus surging. Now more than 13,000 in the U.S., killing around 200 Americans.
So let me just clear the air. If you were expecting my life to be flipped upside down because of this pandemic, it's not. I'm sorry to disappoint. I still wake up in the morning the same way I usually do. I wash my hands, eat breakfast, brush my teeth, shave, put on my clothes for the day. My morning routine hasn't changed in the slightest, nor is it negatively affected by this wonderful world of COVID-19. The difference between my daily routine now than it was before was actually my school workload. All my schoolwork is done online now, and it is double than what I had before this pandemic. And with this doubled workload comes my biggest gripe with the whole remote learning system, and it's the same reason why I never dare to consider the possibility of homeschooling, and that is distraction. I have so many distractions at my fingertips. All my editing softwares, Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Nintendo Switch, Wii U, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Mario Kart Tour, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Dance Moms. Ah! It's too much. I am so distraction prone, and that's my biggest problem with remote learning. But I will say it often helps to have a study buddy. Hi, study buddy. How do those blueberries taste?
Better than you.
Oh, hey, wait, I forgot to mention something kinda important.
So here's the thing. We
were talking for a while.
Yeah.
For like a solid, I want to say 2 months.
Yeah.
And that we definitely kept a secret.
Yeah.
But now we're just like, we're rolling with it because like...
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
I'm not wearing any makeup. And I just got out of the shower.
And then there's Chunky.
She's so fat you can't even fasten her jacket. Oh, she's mad. She's like, why didn't you put me in a corset? She's oozing. Look at her belly. Ooze out of this jacket. Oh, she knows we're body shaming her.
What I found to ease the stress of remote learning was actually investing yourself in nature. Nature in both complexity and simplicity is beautiful. The colors, the textures, it all gets your mind off of the depravity our world is in.
Hi, Professor Sulio. I'm in the wild. And you know who's here with me? Whoa, it's Rocky.
Hi. I like Suglio. He's cool.
Yeah.
Suglio's just the cutest little bean.
Verulis and Tarbert got nothing on you,
Our
Suglio.
bear's pretty chill though. I don't know, man. And he likes me more than you, huh? Ain't that true? Because we both play tennis, huh? You don't play you play softball.
Wait, do it again.
I wasn't planning on making a podcast. The podcast just happened. I mean, what can we say? We were bored. And when you're bored, you just start rambling about Nintendo.
Hello, welcome to 3 Bros, 1 Switch.
Stop it! That's the first episode of our podcast. What do you think, Suglio? We pretty...
What?
That's the name of my professor, Suglio.
Oh, Professor Suglio?
Yes.
Our podcast is called 3 Bros, 1 Switch. And we, needless to say, we're pretty entertaining. Besides that, my friends Tyler and Rye have offered insight into how their lives have changed during quarantine.
It's been a lot of mixed emotions. I mean, if this is going on just for like another 30 days and we can at least get to somewhat normalcy, I can still do it, but just how my life has been going with relationships and just tensions has been very nice at all.
Well, I work at a grocery store that has a pharmacy in it, and right now, all of Ohio is keeping every single grocery store with a pharmacy open just for any emergency use for everybody's medicine and stuff. So we have to be open. We are open 7 to 7, and right now my life is kind of just revolving around work.
I thankfully still work at my job. I'm a pizza delivery driver. Thankfully, I'm not really affected by it at all. Relationships and things in my life haven't been going that great. The phrase "wash your hands" is pretty much engraved in my head at this point. So, yeah, that's my life.
Today I felt super bored. So bored, in fact, that I spent money. A lot of money. What did I spend it on? Well, only your standard quarantine survival pack, of course. And that pack includes new Joy-Cons for my Nintendo Switch, Animal Crossing New Horizons to add to my plethora of distractions, and the triple-decker couch mech. So the Lego Movie is my favorite animated movie of all time, and I have the double-decker couch set from that movie, and it has all my favorite Lego minifigures on it. But it's kind of cramped, so I figured an extra layer to the couch couldn't hurt. And so I embraced my inner child and built this masterpiece. And then afterwards, I added figures to the couch, and I ended up including new ones. So really, in the end, I didn't exactly solve my space issue, but look at how awesome it looks. I always appreciate when the drive to Rocky's house isn't the same every day. By the way, the first construction guard I passed was so ticked off that I was on my phone. He started yelling at me, and I was afraid that things were going to escalate. But luckily, I just drove quietly by.
Hello, Professor Suglio. Currently, I'm editing a music video for Grace Church, and it's going great right now.
No, it's not.
It's actually not. The people who filmed...
They're idiots.
They're idiots. They should have taken your class. They might know a thing or two, and I might not be having to edit it.
They just need to stand still and learn about aperture. Oh, my mouse blew.
I love editing, but for whatever reason, I'm changing my track to writing and directing. I don't know if you can explain that, Silvio. I sure can't. Maybe the Breakfast Club can. Breakfast Club. What? Hey, Professor Silvio. So I'm about to go live on TikTok with Rocky. Hey, look, there's me. And there's Rocky.
I'm ecstatic that you're Dom. That's not me being sarcastic.
Aww. That makes me happy. Rocky got a ring light so that her TikTok live streams could be at peak quality.
Hey, kids.
She seemed very happy with the light. Now she can look her best when she's talking to her children. Note, Rocky did not birth any children. That is the name she refers to her TikTok followers. It's cute. You need to make a light pun right now, Becca. Off the top of your head.
It's so lit.
Rocky already did that one.
Dang it!
Don't you forget about me. All the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry. These bones will sing. Great are you, Lord.
So the one perspective that I found interesting when addressing COVID-19 was actually the biblical perspective. The church's response to COVID-19 is actually really inspiring. We have all these technological devices, plus people who know how to operate said technological devices. That combination gives us the ability to create live streams so we can get God's word to people who need it. There's actually a lot of people under lockdown who are terrified right now. These people are actually in the age range when you're most susceptible to this virus. So if there was ever a time where people needed God's word, it's now. I've been serving as camera operator for the last 3 weeks, and each week I'm provided the same task. How do you make a couple of individuals who are sitting in front of a keyboard and a mic who are stationary seem visually pleasing? It basically forced me to get a lot of intricate and unique angles that made the live stream more visually appealing. Melissa Erickson, lead tech producer on CBC's tech team, hasn't seen her life change drastically during this virus, but the use of her God-given gifts have truly increased because of it, and her outlook on the future of the church during this time is actually really positive.
Yeah, all of the memes are kind of true for me, and like my quarantine lifestyle hasn't really changed that much. I work at a church, I do a lot of tech things for us, and so I'm usually doing behind the streams, live streaming, online services and that, where a lot of people are experiencing some more downtime or just they're stuck at home. I'm actually just as busy as I ever have been, but I know that I'm really fortunate still to have a job, that my job is in high demand right now. I get the privilege of bringing our online services to people where they are stuck. So I would say this is a really exciting time for the church as a whole. It's really forcing us to let go of our idols of, we have this building, we have this space, we meet. Church is not a building and it is not a 1-hour service, but we are the church. And we are the ones who we demonstrate Christ, and we preach the gospel when we're serving our neighbors, when we're loving our neighbors, when we're going on grocery runs for the elderly. When we're doing that, that's how we're showing the world that we are the church and that it's not this building. It's really encouraging seeing shut-in people, maybe elderly, widows, widowers who are posting within our Facebook groups for the church that like, hey, I don't have anybody and I'm really lonely right now. And to see the digital community just rally around them, offer up phone numbers. I can run errands for you. Give me this if you need if you ever need a call and chat. Here's my number. So digitally, the community is reaching out in that space, which is really, really exciting to see. You can still reach people online. Online is still a place. I don't know who this number is, but let's find out. Melissa Erickson. Yeah, who is this? Oh, it's an Amazon delivery.
All right, what'd you two do?
I didn't do anything. That was all him.
You gotta find out.
Welcome to Three Bros One Swim.
What the fuck? About 6 months ago, I inherited my dad's 1997 Ford Ranger pickup truck as my first car. She currently has over 200,000 miles, a new radiator, new fuel pump, new brakes, new windshield wipers. She's had a lot of work done. But in the words of the T-800 from Terminator Genesis,
old but not obsolete.
But you see, I encountered an issue with the fuel neck. Basically, I can't pump gas in my truck, which is kind of a big issue. So I dropped my truck off at my local mechanic shop. The walk back was nice and brisk. I'm glad he's my local mechanic instead of a regional. So the biggest question of mine when entering the virus was how Easter was going to happen. My church's response was actually filming Easter service on Thursday and then live streaming the recording on Sunday. It definitely took the pressure off of filming it live that day, but what it also certainly did was take the pressure off of doing well the first time. There was a lot of takes. Many people a part of our worship team have shared a lot when it comes to their lives being affected by COVID-19.
Well, I work for a Christian organization called Crew as a musician, and a bulk of what we do is touring, whether it be worship music or outreach. So obviously we can no longer do all of those things. You know, we're working from home like most people are and still healthy and mostly happy, so we're handling it okay.
Having to, rely on myself to teach myself, or videos that my teacher sends me. The process is okay. I wouldn't say it's great. We're using online platforms, to send in our work and everything like that. So, yeah, it's getting done.
But like Melissa, they're all optimistic about the church's response to this pandemic.
Well, I still am, confused, but I'm really coming to terms with the reason why God's doing this in our lives. During this time is a very vulnerable time for our hearts, and I think He wants to soften them. We're really coming together, even though we're drawn apart. God's bringing us together through His Spirit.
One of the things I see God doing is helping us focus on what the most important things in life are. That pride is dangerous. So whenever we think that we've got everything all together, that we're on top of the world, I think God has a way of reminding us that, well, in a few days, everything can crash down. Everything can change rapidly. And the Bible teaches us that Jesus really is the only foundation that's solid in life. Anything else we try to build our life on will eventually crumble.
Today, I decided to combine girlfriend hangout time and podcast recording time all in one day. And the result was exactly as you'd expect.
I have really long hair. We ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome back to Three Bros, One Switch podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Verzi.
I'm your co-host, Tyler Olson.
And I'm Rye.
So, welcome back. So, guys, this is probably the strangest thing that's ever happened to us.
On this episode of Cooking with Becca, Becca makes a cake. Whoa! And on this episode of Cutie Weekly, there's Nilla and Rocky.
How are you?
I'm splendid. How are you?
I am bald.
This is a lot of hair.
Well, I'm just insecure about my hairline.
I like your hairline. It's cute.
What is wrong with you?
A lot of things.
I know. No, sit. Sit. Good girl. She got egg in her hair just like her mommy.
Rocky's sister Becca made a cake, and it is really, really good.
Becca, can I have another piece?
Yep.
Sweet.
You know what her secret is? Cocaine.
Yeah.
Ah, I knew it! And it's also the reason why I'm 5 pounds heavier, but I digress. This one I have no words for.
Hey, why is it snowing? It's April. It is literally almost May. Why is it snowing? I'm sorry, Mother Nature. Did I ask for your powdered sugar? No. Seriously, look at this. Look at this. What is that? Yay! We're at Rocky's house. Woo! Snow is pretty, though. Still hate it. Still hate it.
Mm-hmm. There's like 3 layers of...
So what's Chef Rocky
Is it
making
after
today?
5 o'clock? Because I told you that I can't record until then. We've been through this. I'm not pretty.
Yes,
I'm
you
in
are.
my pajamas.
So am I.
Are you paparazzi? I'm gonna have to run from you now too.
No.
Hey, Suglio, where's the snow? Where is the snow? Where's the snow, Rocky?
I don't know.
It was just here yesterday. Where did it go?
Okay, I need a shower.
Stinky.
Okay. You're stinky!
And that's pretty much my summarized life during quarantine. Believe me, I know people watching this documentary are going to have strong words for me. In fact, I'm anticipating this.
Listen, I know exactly everything people are going to tell me. They're going to tell me I'm selfish. They're going to say I'm selfish for hanging out with my girlfriend, for doing a podcast with two of my closest friends, with helping out at my church. Well, in response to that, I say, why do we need to inherit a spirit of fear? Yes, I understand that there are people who are at risk because of this virus, but is it really going to be that controlling to where it dictates how we go about with our everyday lives? Right now, I'm just going to continue doing what God's leading me on. And right now, it's actually to edit this documentary, so, are we through here?